Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Alright, so this Warren Ellis thing is popping off again. Well, it's not really popping off. Warren Ellis, the disgraced comic book writer, television show writer. I think he's written some novels and short stories as well. He had a really good vlog that you could, subscribe to via email. He talked about a lot of different high-tech, high-science stuff that he was reading that was going to inform the work that he did. But about a year or so ago, a bunch of women came out accusing him of being a predator, a groomer. Never mind the fact that these accusations stemmed from, the height of his career, like some 20 years ago. But also, it was just really, a lot of it was just nonsense. It was silly stuff, like pickup artist, groupie BS. Stuff like, he told me not to speak to anybody else but him. And they made it sound like, he's trying to control us. And things like he tried to, inveigle me into bed, or he asked me if I was interested in going, out with him, and I told him no. And I never heard from him again. Okay, so what? But yeah, a lot of that, I don't know if I did a video about this. I remember reading it, and it was just infuriating just how so many of us women, when they put out their list of crimes against humanity that Warren Ellis had allegedly done, it was really just the silliest nonsense. Like, sure, you can be, aspiring writer who thought Ellis would do something for your career, but it didn't really happen. Or you can get upset that after a certain point he stopped talking to you. But like I said, they made it like the guy was some kind of predator. And I suppose in a way, he's a cad, but it didn't seem like a lot of the interactions turned out to be physical. It was just a lot of online stuff. Online stuff in the sense that I guess that, sexy tweets, or not tweets, sorry, it was sexy DMs or text messages or whatever. But, I know Perch always made it a point to say, this shouldn't be going on because it's supposed to be in a professional environment. You can't have your employees running around having scandals and, basically trading sex or sexual attention for favors and that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's unprofessional. I don't have a problem with a cad being a cad. I really don't care if he's playing the field. Like I said, because a lot of this stuff, when you look at it, didn't even seem to be sexual, or it wasn't physical. Like, he didn't actually, a lot of these women didn't even end up having sex with him. They were just talking to him. And if it didn't get sexual, he would leave them alone, or if he, I guess, started talking to somebody new, he would stop talking to them. And a lot of the women seemed to be hurt that he stopped talking to them, period. But none of that is grooming. None of these women were kids. These were women. And it was the simple, like I said, pickup artist or groupie thing. A lot of these women were just groupies. He was really popular at the time. And they wanted some of that shine. So anyway, so they put out this So Many of Us list of crimes against humanity. They were silly for the most part. I remember people on Twitter were like, the SJW side of Twitter was like, this is terrible. We can't have people like this in our industry, these poor women. And it's like, make up your mind. Are women strong, independent warrior goddesses, or are they helpless victims that you have to protect from guys saying, hey, you got a nice ass, want to have sex, So anyway, that happened. I don't think I did a video of it. I can't remember if I did, of the initial list of crimes. But that was months ago. We haven't heard anything from Warren Ellis, he's been contrite. Like, he stopped doing his email vlog. Not vlog, it was a blog. He stopped doing his email blog, which kind of sucks. I actually, read that on a regular basis. I'm subscribed to Miller and Ed Brubaker, and I don't read them nearly as regularly as I was reading Ellis's, even though I actually like Miller as a writer better. Brubaker is up there too, though. He's great. But But anyway, so he's been gone. He's been contrite. He said, I've done bad things. I'm going to now stop talking and I'm going to listen. And I feel like he shouldn't have done any of that. He should have just been like, look, yeah, I did some, I've been a cad. I've been a hustler, a gambler, and a whatever. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again. But I'm still going to write, and you can all go fuck yourselves. I don't know. But he was like, I'm contrite. I'm going to stop putting out emails, and I'm done. So he was gone for about a year. Then he was going to come back with Ben Temple-Smith to do this comic. I think it's called Fell or Fall. I didn't read that one. I haven't read a lot of new Ellis. I hadn't. The newest thing from him was the Wildstorm comic that he did, which was absolute garbage. It's one of the few 1-star ratings I gave on Goodreads. I don't remember. I know that when Ellis would talk about it, to him, the Wildstorm was his Twin Peaks: The Return. He was like likening it to that, like I guess the process and the things he wanted to do. But it was complete trash. The characters were boring. I think maybe the art had something to do with it too, because the art was terrible. But a lot of Ellis's work is well written, and he's got interesting characters and dialogue sometimes. But a lot of it is dead from the waist down. Not that everything has to be about sex, but there's a sexlessness, which I think is ironic with all the accusations against him, that his work is so sexless and dry. And it can be well written and I can like it, but it just doesn't have like an earthy feel to it that I guess it's all in the head. And it's really boring at certain points. And the Wildstorm was the epitome of like the worst aspect of Ellis's writing. But anyway, that was the most contemporary thing. So he was going to come back and do this book that I think was already coming out. And or he had already, some of the issues had already come out, and he was going to finish it with this guy. And as soon as he was like, I guess he or somebody announced it was coming out, a bunch of these hags and these harpies attacked. And then this whole, oh my God, after all the horrible things he's done to us, why is he still alive? Why is he still trying to write comic books? And he shouldn't. So Image, dickless wonders that they are, canceled the series and made this big statement about how they're not going to do any more work with Warren Ellis. Never mind with Ben Temple-Smith, the work he did. They're just going to, screw him over. We're not going to do it until these 60 or so women who are complaining about being tossed out groupies feel like he's made some kind of amends to them. And, he's a year of just chilling and not messing with people, and I guess maybe going to therapy or whatever he was doing. It's not enough, until every single woman who has been harmed by him feels like restitution has been made. We will never do work with him. We will have to wait. And that's never going to happen because, as you can see now, these hags have come back again with an update to their whole So Many of Us, I don't know, screed. I don't know what this is. But anyway, so yeah, I don't remember exactly when the list first came out, the first list of crimes against humanity. I think it was in August, but, everybody talked about it and then it just died down. And I've wondered over the past couple of months or whatever, here and there, when Ellis was going to come back or if he would have to just do crowdfunding or whatever. But let's see. So many of us. Today, SMOU's active membership is significantly smaller than the original group of 60 plus people who drove the publication of SoManyOfUs.com. The So Many of Us issues an update regarding Warren Ellis. I didn't read that part, but anyway. We celebrate those who have found peace and disengagement and consider it a win that many have moved forward in their healing. The group working on transformative justice with Warren Ellis will be referred to as SMOU-TJ, Alt-J. No. All members, past and present, are invited to engage in planning support, and decision-making at their preferred level of participation. There's no way, if I was Warren Ellis, and I was reading this shit, I'd be like, the fuck, no, fuck this, I'm not apologizing anymore. I'm gonna put my books out my own goddamn way. I don't need Image, fuck Image. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'll just do crowdfunding. He knows people will support him crowdfunding. Now, if he's the type of person who's like, I'm not gonna do crowdfunding because, Nazis and right-wingers and bad people are the only people who buy books that way, and I'm gonna look bad too. I can't think that his career too, I guess, but his public image can't get any worse. He literally was a pickup artist and a guy using his celebrity to interact with some groupies. And that's something that back in the day people would make videos about and brag about. Now all of a sudden you're supposed to be like, it's so unnatural. It's up to him. It's his life. If he wants to keep supporting and giving oxygen to these psychopaths, he can. But anyway, just looking at this is... Why do we need an update on this? Why do we care? We continue making progress in a guided transformative justice process. It just makes no sense. Transformative justice? Can you imagine like Van Halen back in the day or Def Leppard, and you have these hags talking about, we need transformative justice for all the times we were getting champagne poured down our dresses in dressing rooms. Like, what is this nonsense? All the rappers who, have these women, so many of us. First, we found an extraordinary facilitator who has helped us to understand our options and clarify our goals. They don't even know what they want. I think, like your boy Zach said, they just want money. Or me, personally, I think that they want the high of trying to control people's lives. That they don't have anything else. So this is funny to them that they can just make this official situation out of some guy who was, pissed off a couple of women who he didn't give careers to or he stopped talking to. But anyway, what did they say? It goes, second, we undertook internal processes to define and practice accountability, flexibility, and democracy within our group. So these hussies are still stretching in, throwing ass. Flexibility. Third, in a facilitator-led survey, so many of us transformative justice identified fidelity. This decision is in line with our values and unity. The process of decision-making does not tear us apart, but brings us together. Love, however, will tear us apart. As our two priority factors for decision-making. Oh, so they said that fidelity and unity was the two factors that would guide the decision-making. Who gives a shit? None of this is important. This is not women who have been assaulted or abused or anything. It's just a bunch of women who are mad that a guy stopped talking to them. Our forward motion may be slow, but it is intentional. Like the turtle versus the hare situation, tortoise versus the hare situation. I don't care. So many of us, transformative justice, entered into a mediated conversation. So many of us, transformative justice, entered into a mediated conversation with Warren Ellis in August 2021. I'm laughing because I'm picturing all of them on a Zoom call. I picture Warren Ellis like on his Zoom call and all these like hags, all of them all on his Zoom call, and they're saying, and he's like, right, yes, I feel that I'm really wrong. I was really wrong at the time. I shouldn't have hurt any people feeling. I wasn't communicating like I should have.
You wasn't communicating to us because I told you that I wanted to speak to you about possibly having my works seen by an editor, and you stopped talking to me after you asked for sex. And I turned you down.
Oh, God. It has taken a great deal of effort in the foundational work in order for us to begin communicating effectively with Ellis. No, I don't even... Like, are they saying that he was belligerent? I wish he was belligerent. Like, this update should have been, we have done our best to communicate with Mr. Warren Ellis. However, he has been belligerent, bigoted, and downright insulting to our concerns. Yeah, okay. We acknowledge this slow, challenging process and also acknowledge that it's simply too early to report where it is heading or where it may end up. We would like to emphasize that Warren Ellis has the option of working on healing and recovery. Like, healing and recovery for what? Liking ass? Trying to talk to chicks and get booty? What the hell? Here is the clarity we can offer. Our goal is to transform harm, not cancel Warren Ellis or anyone else. We cannot and we will not sign off on his moral progress. We decline to be the authority on who is allowed to work in what context. We reaffirm our support for the right of creators to be paid for their work, as well as the right of publishers, creatives, and others to determine who they work with. Oh, God. I don't care about this other part. The other part, they was basically saying, please do not engage in harassment. Don't harass us, and do not harass Warren Ellis. This update should have said either Warren Ellis told us to go fuck ourselves, or Warren Ellis we don't want to cancel Warren Ellis, so he's free to publish wherever he wants to, and we're not going to pressure him. We just want him to understand that his actions going forward should not be as harmful as it has been in the past, which I don't think it was harmful at all. I think these if just because a woman is blinded by somebody's famous celebrity and they did things that they regret, and like I said, in a lot of these cases, the only thing they regret is that he stopped talking to them and stopped interacting with them, and they felt bad. That's all. They were just jealous of whoever else he might have been giving attention to. I haven't seen anything where anybody was trapped or abused, or, I mean, you see this a lot now. Although I can only think of one other instance at the moment. It was the Aziz Ansari date, that woman who told that ridiculous account of a horrible date with Aziz Ansari, where she basically felt like a victim of sex. Even though when you read it, you just look like she looked like a complete idiot. Like she didn't stand her ground. Like it was defense. She didn't. In other words, she didn't speak up for herself. She just went along with the guy. And as far as he was aware, she was down with it because it was groupie love, you know. But yeah. So your boy Zach did a video on this. Perch did a video on this, and Wes from Thinking Critical did a video on this already. They probably have more articulate things to say about it at this point. For me, I just think that if I were Warren Ellis, I would stop being contrite. I don't know what he's doing. We haven't heard from him since for me, I haven't heard anything since his last email, you know, from, I forgot what it's called, his email blog, which, like I said, was really cool. I really liked it. But since the point when it first came out a year or so ago or more, where he was like, yes, I would be quiet and listen to these women, and you know, I won't, as a man, I need to be quiet, or some shit, whatever he was saying. And since, you know, at a certain point, it's gonna be too long to tell the story about the prisoner. This secret agent. Show about the secret agent in the 60s. He resigns. He's a spy, like James Bond type guy. He resigns, and he wakes up in this village. You know, when he resigns, he goes home. He resigns angrily. Excuse me. He goes home after he's resigned. This gas knocks his ass out. When he wakes up, he finds himself in a village. Doesn't know where the village is. Doesn't know how he's got there. And, you know, the show is about him trying to figure out where he is and how to get out of there. And he doesn't know who's in charge of the place. He doesn't know why he was brought there, but he knows it has something to do with him. Oh, I think they do tell him. I think they basically say, you're here because you resigned, and you didn't tell us why you resigned, so we want to know why you resigned. And he's like, you know, he's very belligerent. Number 6 is what they call him. They don't say what his name is. They just call him Number 6. So they want to know. They want the answers from him why he resigned. He won't tell them. One episode, because he's a cool dude. He's like, you know, he's like a Superman type guy, Renaissance man. He can do a lot of different things. He kick ass. He's like a Batman type guy. So at a certain point, they condition him in one of the episodes not to be violent. I think that's what it is. I think they condition him. I gotta watch them again. It's been a long time. A friend of mine showed them to me. But I think what it was, one episode they conditioned him not to be violent, or he was trying not to be violent. And these guys, like, people would like antagonize him throughout the entire episode. And at a certain point, these two guys are starting talking noise to him, and they kind of pushing him around and slapping him around. He's like refusing to fight. And then at a certain point, they slap him or they say something to him, and he finally just goes off. He gets this look on his face like, oh, got it. All right, fine, I got to do it. And he starts whooping everybody's tail. I feel like if I was Warren Ellis, I told all of that just to say, you would think at a certain point, whatever Warren Ellis thought he's doing with regards to these women, as far as, making restitution or trying to be a good guy and contrite or whatever, you would think reading something like this latest update from these weirdos that he would say, all right, I can't fucking do this anymore. I'm done. One of the points that they make, they say what their goals are, what their aim is. They don't want to cancel Warren Ellis, but they go, structures for accountability within industry are necessary and must come from within the industry itself. That's fine. Industry leaders ought to develop, apply, and maintain systems to protect and empower vulnerable groups. This is when it gets a little bit more ridiculous. Specific systems we'd like to see dismantled include the protected status of celebrities, the limited public understanding of both abuse and consent. It's not limited. People understand what consent and abuse is. And this ridiculous one, the way irony can be used as a shield. Go fuck yourself. What they're basically saying is, if somebody tells an edgy joke, they can't just say, look, it was an edgy joke, calm the fuck down. They don't want you to be able to just say, hey, this is my personality. I tell edgy jokes or whatever. You don't have to take it seriously. They go, you said something harmful and abusive, and you can't just say, well, I was being ironic or telling a joke. You have to acknowledge that you're hurting and damaging people. So again, I'm not reading any more of this nonsense. If Warren Ellis wants to keep giving these people oxygen, he can. I don't think he should. I think he should, like, when you looked at his emails, he talks about the work that he's doing. He had a lot of projects. And I know there's a lot of people not going to work with him anymore because, they've been pressured not to. And, everybody is, like, weak-willed and brittle-boned or whatever. So what he should do, figure out who he can work with that will help him get his work published. Like I said, he can do crowdfunding if he don't want to be at home himself bagging the shit up. I'm sure there are people who can, arrange something, where it could be done. But it's on him what he does, But that's it. Tell me what you think about this situation. If you know anything about it, if you care anything about it. I think I'll have some more videos upcoming soon after this. Thanks for watching. Take care.